Is that right? Is it a Styanax?
It absolutely is.
Okay.
That is
I
how
was
it's
starting to get
pronounced.
scared that I had it wrong. It's Stephen Core in the game.
Stephen Cornick, not showing off, not falling behind. It's called the T-square.
Adam up there with his Anton LaVey goatee.
Okay, so Arkista's ring is good.
I think it's Arkista's ring.
I'm going to say every game wrong just to piss you guys off.
You get Arkista's ring.
Arkista's ring. Now you can Arkista my...
That's it.
Oh!
Now, I have minimal experience playing with this game, but I would like to hear your take on it. And so therefore, just being transparent, my ranking of this is going to be kind of arbitrary. But I'm going to go with Crystalis. Crystalis. I've played some Crystalis, maybe like an hour or two, but not anywhere to make any significant progress in the game.
Okay.
But that being said, I did have a good time with it, and I thought it was pretty engaging for an NES RPG title. So I'm going to put it in, not that there's anything wrong with that. And, and I feel like that's a good Switzerland neutral area.
So now our job is to try to sway Adam up or down.
All right, ready? I'll start. Adam, you ignorant slut. Not that there's anything wrong with that. No. So you couched it pretty well because you said he only played like an hour or two not to make enough significant progress.
Yeah, I had it on like a wheel night, and so it was one of the things that came up in the wheel, and then just played it for a little bit, and then moved on. So
all right,
I'm really waiting with bated breath to hear how Nate's going to pull this out, other than to say this game was really special to me when I was a little guy.
All right, let me just have my feelings, Steve. You understand? Jeez.
Hey, you shat all over Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
All right. Listen, when I was a young man, guys, I thought this game's story and the depth of this story compared to anything else I've seen on the NES is so much different and so unique. Just beyond that, in every way, I would say it like this. In every way, I think this game is superior to The Legend of Zelda. I think the battle system is better. I think the inventory is better. The spells that you can use is better. The currency that you get, all of it. It just top to bottom. The map is better. As a frame of reference, I just think it eclipses that in every way. Maybe not the soundtrack, but I have this one hearty part of Masters of their Domain. I think for a action RPG, I don't have any above it at this point. I don't think it might be my favorite.
None above.
I don't know how.
Go ahead
for an action for an action RPG. I don't know.
Oh man, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's bordering top 10 on my entire list so far.
Tell me when you're done, Georgie.
I'm done. All right, I'm done. Here, have some Tic Tacs.
The music in this game sucks. Your movement is annoying. The way that you attack your enemies is like, if you are not standing here and your enemy is not above you, Lord help you if you have to attack someone that's on either side of you.
Sorry, I'm just going to do a sales pitch for Mugs while you say this nonsense.
What the hell are you doing, you schmucks? Head on over to retronate-shop.fourthwall.com, or you could stop being a mook and head over to the store tab on his YouTube channel. Who the hell is this Schlemiel? He's got 2 thumbs, he likes Retronate, he's okay with me. Go over to the page, buy the stuff, support your boy.
The score is bad.
The menu system is infuriating. There are multiple things they could have done to involve buttons on the control pad that they didn't even use. You have to constantly be switching weapons when you move from one area to another area.
That is annoying. I will give you that. That is annoying because certain weapons break down certain walls and stuff like that. Yeah.
I have the fact that you even put this in the same class as The Legend of Zelda, much less say that it's better than that.
Yeah,
is so stupid. It's in no way is it superior. In no way.
I think you might be triggered.
It's got more. Hey, there are other action RPGs on this console. And he just said that this one's better than all of them, and that's bullcrap.
All of the ones that I've played to this point That's all I can say. I don't have anything else beyond that.
Well, maybe this is going to be a disagreement of definition. Then
guys.
We'll find out in a second here when I make my pick, because I'm going to make my pick next.
All right.
That is my plea for this game. I have
Where
it
would
as
you put it?
prognosis negative, maybe even cry. No, cry again's unfair.
Cry. All right,
prognosis negative. Prognosis.
This game has a family. Don't do that to it. That's 2 tiers apart, though.
Yeah.
That's a fairly significant difference of opinion.
This is another one of those games, like another game that we're going to talk about later here, that I think people are very generous to give the label of hidden gem.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
It's not a terrible game. Don't get me wrong. It's not a terrible game, and I'm not saying that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But yeah.
Don't break your ankles backtracking, Steve.
There's no way that it's better than Ninja Turtles.
There is every way that it's better than Ninja Turtles. Oh my gosh. All right. We're gonna
anyways,
sure about this.
Adam, who do you love
Anything
more,
else
me
to
or
say,
Nate?
Mr. Kobe Pants?
Where are you gonna move? Where are you moving?
I want to stay with both of you.
Listen, you get him on the weekends, you get me during the week. All right, we're divorced. All right, you've got it in the middle tier. You've put it at, not that there's anything wrong with that. Steve would have it in the cry again.
No, prognosis.
Almost in cry again.
Yeah, prognosis negative.
All right,
it's teetering, but it's in prognosis negative.
Well, this is good. Adam represents the moderate middle of the party, I suppose.
That's where I live. That's where I'm most comfortable.
Way to make a choice, huh, loser? All right. You know what? I can live with it being in the top 3 tiers and not in the bottom. I think that's still a win for me. I'd rather have it higher, but at least it's going to be thought of well as this goes down in the pantheon of NES immortality. Okay, Steve.
So hard at you.
You are up, Steve. You get to pick the next one.
Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. They're real and they're spectacular. People call this an action RPG. I will concede that it's kind of an action RPG. But this game, there's so many people spent years crapping
not
on
an action RPG.
Crapping on do what?
How is it not an action RPG?
Well,
you level up, you have spells, you go through multiple areas, there's bosses at the end, there's a overlooming bad guy. It's an action RPG.
I think the main reason why I struggle labeling it as an action RPG is just that the Legend of Zelda series is not an RPG series, and this is the only game that fits that because of game mechanics.
Okay.
There's no other Legend of Zelda that's even close to being an RPG, but people even say those are RPGs, which is freaking stupid. But
we'll have to have a separate debate because I am terribly uneducated on what the definitions are.
Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. People crapped on this game for years because it's difficult, and they're probably the same goons that think that the level is so freaking hard in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You're weak, your lineage won't last, and no one will remember you when you're dead. The music in this game is phenomenal. The mechanics are tight. The game operates off of very strict and specific rules that are easy to learn and master.
Yeah.
While it's linear, it's also kind of not linear in certain ways. There's a lot of really interesting enemies, many of which you never see again. In the series. To piggyback on to the dam level in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Death Mountain is not that hard. And everyone's like, Death Mountain is so hard. Death Mountain is not that hard. You need to go play some Sesame Street 1, 2, 3 ABC.
Oh my gosh.
It's
a wonder your channel doesn't grow as fast with alienating
because
everyone,
I'm
Steve.
so charming and not at all an act. Zelda 2 is perfection for the NES. It's gorgeous. It's challenging but fun. It's got a cool story. If you read the booklet, it doesn't say this anywhere in the game.
Oh yeah,
Ganon's minions are trying to kill Link so they can sprinkle his blood on the ashes of Ganon and bring him back from the dead. That is messed up for a children's game.
That's like Peter Pettigrew before that happened.
I remember reading that and being like, holy crap, that scared me as a kid. I was like, whoa, man, that is wild.
All right, we get it. Show us your Zelda 2 tattoo so we can move on.
That's being raised in the 80s and 90s, isn't it? Oh, we're just going to sprinkle the blood on Ganon to raise him to life.
Right? Isn't it?
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's something.
No, I'm tired of people crapping on this game, and I won't sit here and let you say that Crystalis or whatever the fudge it is. Can't even have a pronounceable name. Is better.
Astronax. Yeah. Okay. Arkista's ring. Adam, what are your thoughts? Is Steve off his rocker?
Never played it as an adult. Well, I've watched Steve play it multiple times and have an appreciation for it. I think watching someone who is skilled at the game and knows what to do in the game to progress, when looked at it through that lens, it is entertaining. Is it a game that I would ever play? Absolutely not.
But we're streaming through the HD ROM hack right now over on Beer Clock. So
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's where we are.
/@symbol. It's Beer Clock.
There you go.
Where's your mug, Steve? The mug. Damn it.
Yeah, get your mug up.
Know, right?
I think Steve's spot on. Spot on in that I have Zelda 2 one spot behind Crystalis, whatever. I have it one spot behind, but I think it is in the Masters of their Domain tier. It's in the upper part of that tier for me. I think I thought Zelda 2 was fantastic. And everything that you said, I think was on. I just didn't have it quite in the top tier, but I can certainly understand how someone would have it up there. And now it's my choice. I'm going to put one on here that I think is tough to rank because it's different, and I think it could be as high as like number 1 for some people. And if you're not in the kind of specific demographic that plays the game, you might not even think it's like worth playing. Tecmo Super Bowl for me.
Oh, good.
Tecmo Super Bowl to me is the NES game that made me want to get an NES. It was the one game I remember specifically asking for. I never cared about games I got other than asking specifically for Tecmo Super Bowl after I had played it. The experience I had playing with a friend of mine was like so memorable. I love the Bills. Everyone on my channel knows I'm a Bills fan, and the Bills were great during that era. But because it's a narrow demographic of like who would play American football games, it could possibly miss a large swath of the gaming population. So it's hard for me to rank because I could see people having this as their best video game of all time. Literally that good. But put up against some of these other games that we're ranking today, for me personally, I'd probably have it top 5 for me of like favorite games, but I can see how it could be kind of exclusive to a population who likes it. So I'm putting it in the lower part of the I have a very large Masters of their Domain tier, and I'm putting it in that category for myself. The most revolutionary part of it was the season-long statistics tracking, all the names of the NFL players. That was super revolutionary for a sports game on the NES.
And as a little side note, there's like a whole community out here that keeps making hacks of this game with current rosters on it, which
Every
is
year.
also badass.
Every year. It's so awesome. Yeah.
See, this is why everyone needs to go subscribe to Retro Nate's channel if they aren't already, because Nate is so much nicer than I am. And Adam and Nate are really great guys and very lovable and kind. And me, I'm just kind of a crotchety old turd. I think that Nate is being way too considerate of other people's opinions in rating this game. This game is it's a turgid, rock hard. They're real and they're spectacular, in my opinion. The fact that, like what Adam just pointed out, that this game has not only a surviving but a thriving community, literal decades after its release.
Decades after.
That's something that
you're convincing me.
Yeah, that's something that I don't even know what to say about it. What other NES game or what other game from decades ago can you say that about? I mean, they did make the Zelda 2 HD remake that we're currently streaming on Beer Clock, youtube.com/@symbol. It's Beer Clock. But they don't do it every damn year. And
every year roster updates.
Yeah, I've got, I think, the 25th anniversary complete edition over there on my shelf. It's like, right. I don't know, man. Tecmo Bowl, fantastic. Tecmo Super Bowl it's the
rock
prom
hard
queen.
Was a great way to subscribe.
Turgid.
Can I? All right. I hope I don't screw anything up, but I got to show you this. So once upon a time, my friends and I came up with a fantasy football league based on. Sorry, I'm talking into the mic. Fantasy football based on Tecmo Super Bowl simulated seasons. So what we would do is let the computer play out the season. We watch the games, record the stats, and just like fantasy football used to be before it was all digitized and all online. It was recording it on paper and mailing in your lineup through the U.S. Postal Service. And so we manually tracked it. And I wrote a magazine of who's good and who's not, and did a tier list ranking of all of the players when you simulate the games. And it's sick / sad, whatever you want to say. But yeah.
I'm in love, man. That's fantastic. That's like, seriously, that game had its claws in us back in the day. Like I mean, how many sleepovers were dominated by Tecmo Super Bowl? It's one of those that it's every bit as fun to go back and play right now. Tecmo Super Bowl, which sadly that isn't on Switch Online. Tecmo Bowl is, and I think it's a licensing issue. When they first announced Switch Online and online multiplayer with NES games, the two first games that came to mind for me were Super Dodgeball and Tecmo Super Bowl. The ability to play those with someone thousands of miles away is just an absolute game changer. But yeah, no, this one's a big time. They're real and they're spectacular for me.
Adam, any disagreement?
I pretty much had the exact same experience as you guys. I had a childhood friend that had the game. I didn't own it, but he did. And I always went over to his house and spend the night, and we would always play this game all night the entire time. And it was one of those things where, since it was his game, he was really good at it at the start, would just constantly destroy me every time. But then I was like, I've played it enough, like now I'm starting to get it. And so then it actually started to be like competitive, and it was super fun. And I'm not even a football game person as an adult, or even really growing up. I played some Maddens here and there, but Tecmo Super Bowl is just a fun game to play.
It's more arcade style. It's like it's got the 11 on 11, but it's more arcade style, so it's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. You're right, Steve. You're right, Steve. I'm probably thinking more about other people's opinions, but for me personally, it's in my top 5.
So Adam, we're moving it, right? We're moving it, right?
No, we're not moving. I wanted it. The list is locked in. I have it as a. What is it? Masters of their domain. I don't have
fine,
but it's
your stupid channel, whatever.
I know. That's all right. Comment engagement is a plus. Thank you.
Yeah.
For everyone who's going to tell me I'm out of my mind, by all means, drop that in the comments.
And feel free to light me up in the comments too. I'm a big boy. I can take it. But
that's right.
Nate's wrong here, though.
All right, Adam, you are up.
I'm going to go with another one of my favorites, Batman the video game. One of the best Nintendo games, period, I think, for the system. The soundtrack is a banger. The game is just awesome. I had this one as a kid, and I can remember beating it for the first couple, the first time I ever beat it, it was heart pounding through the chest. That's what you see the Joker fall down, and you're like, oh my god, this is incredible. I have that memory. And then just playing through it multiple times. I had to play it for the Retro League one time. And I was trying to speed run it, but I think I got down to around 19 minutes one time.
Wow.
Trying to beat the game. Yeah, and I really enjoy it. It's a great playthrough. The whole game is phenomenal.
Yeah, really good. Which tier do you have it in?
If I was ranking these, I would have a hard time not putting it at the top. I would accept it as the bottom. If I was making this list completely
for you, just you. Okay,
yes.
got you.
Probably Masters of their domain at the least, if I'm not putting it at the top.
One of your personal top ones, but Masters of the Domain at least.
Yeah, probably.
I agree with you. I have it right there, and everything you said is spot on. Joker's one of the best endgame villains on the NES I've seen.
Oh my god, that fight is crazy.
Crazy.
That game's fantastic. I wholeheartedly agree with Master of Domain. And I'm going to plug a compatriot here, a guy named Dusty Zart. He does metal covers of NES game soundtracks. He has an album of the Batman, the game soundtrack. The song, I forget what level it is, but it's the level where you're going up the clock tower thing. It's at the end.
Yeah. Last level.
The bass guitar in that is freaking insane. But yeah, Dusty's art, and we'll put his link up on the screen here or something. But like this guy, killer music, super great dude, and absolutely deserves your support. And if you enjoy metal and the NES, he should be your go-to.
Batman was great. Every time looking at this list, actually, that becomes a litmus like test on my list. Like if you're above or below Batman, and how I remember you. So like it's easy. It's a good like fence post for how I rank games along these lines.
You know, like in the tower when you're climbing up the sides and you're having to do all the wall jumps up and dodging all the stuff. When you get to the top, you're out of breath.
Yeah,
you're dying. Yeah,
you know, there's you know, try to keep the health to get to the next boss so you don't just get annihilated at the beginning. And great game.
All right, Steve, you are up.
Well, since I've clearly already established I don't care about anyone else's feelings, I'm putting Dragon Warrior. They're real and they're spectacular. I don't want people to think that I'm going to put every good game up there, but just
guarding yours.
What was that?
You're guarding yours. Like if they're the ones that you want up there, you got to get them in there. I got you.
Well, I see. This is the deal. The Zelda 2 and Dragon Warrior are two games that I could pick up and play anytime, any day of the year, and have a really good time and just have fun with it. Is the game rudimentary as hell? Absolutely. And honestly, I don't even know that I understand what its appeal is, because I can understand if anyone ever told me, man, I just could not get into that one, or I just could not stick with it, I would absolutely understand. But as I said, I don't care what any of you think. I love this game and I will play it any day and just love the hell out of it. And it's number one for me. But like the feeling of beating the Dragon Lord, I almost said for the first time, any time is still a freaking rush, man. The deeper you get into Charlotte Castle, the spookier and gloomier it gets. They slow the music down. Man, everything about that. It's top tier for me.
Adam, is Steve off his meds?
Coming from somebody that's a huge RPG aficionado such as myself, I did kind of find it that it is a little on the grindy side.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, but that's
not an unfair assessment
to be expected, right? So that's like going to be a turnoff for some because, you know, like pacing is important to some people. I don't personally mind grindfest games, but I can see how other people would be like, this is the most boring thing I've ever done. But that being said, it's, you know, one of the more iconic RPGs, especially for the NES, and it has to be for a reason. And, you know, I got no hate against it.
Grinding in Final Fantasy or some other RPG feels like it's taking you away from the appeal of the game. The grinding of that game was the appeal of the game to me. I loved the anticipation of what a level up brought in terms of attribute increases, of new weapons, new armor that you could afford. Like, I don't know, it felt simpler. There weren't other party members you had to worry about whether they could equip stuff or not. It's just like, it was just very, you could just play it and go through. It was so simple and so simplified that the map determined where you, like, what you were equipped to handle and not. Like, if you went too far when you shouldn't, you were going to get smoked. And then you're like, all right, I can only hang out here. So even discovering the map, yes, you can go anywhere you want from the start, but, you know, it's not, you're going to end up getting killed real early.
The illusion of choice.
The illusion of choice, exactly. And I just thought it was so beautifully designed the way that they did it. I had it in the Masters of the Domain, but I totally see how, you know, the patriarch of the Dragon Warrior / Dragon Quest series is worthy of the top tier.
Well, yeah, and the lasting impact of this game. I mean, it's much more worldwide than in America. It's had a lasting effect worldwide. So, yeah.
All right. I am going to make a choice here, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that one of the games that's on here that I need to have in this tier gets put in this tier. I'm going to pick Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for this next pick. And I am going to put that not in Blimp, a Hindenburg Story, but in Cry, Cry Again. This was a controversial take when I played through this game, and people told me this was the worst game on the console, and it's awful. It's a walking to the right simulator. Yeah, I get it. It's not a particularly exciting application of an NES game, but the amount of psychology that they tried to bake into this, of the story of Jekyll and Hyde and how, you know, his inner demons and inner thoughts overtake him at the constant presence of annoyances like bugs that fly into your face and birds crapping on your head and whatever takes place to Jekyll as you're playing this game, and suddenly you turn into this monster Hyde. And the idea is Hyde is playing every level that Jekyll played in reverse, and basically if his progress overtakes that of Jekyll, Jekyll ceases to exist. A Jekyll divided against itself cannot stand. You know, worlds collide. So I thought that, accompanied with kind of like the psychology they tried to portray in the game, I found it a little more fascinating. Yes, the game is not exciting, but when you look at it as a depiction of like trying to tell this story, I just thought it was not as unbearable as some other games I have played. So I am putting it in the cry again, but not as a blimp, a Hindenburg story.
Adam, do you have anything to say on this one?
I've only seen the Angry Video Game Nerd video on this game.
Okay, so I'm going to chime in then. My experience with it was the first part of what you said. This is the worst game ever, blah, 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 blah. Now, with the blessing of the internet and YouTube, I've been able to watch multiple other people play through and review this game. And I agree with what you said. I think it's a valid assessment. And I think it's just one of those games that, you know what it makes me think of? Is E.T. on Atari 2600.
Yeah.
People try to peg that as like one of the worst video games ever created, and it's absolutely not. It's just a bit obtuse. But with Jekyll and Hyde, I think it was a bit too high concept for that time.
For 9-year-olds, right? Like
and
you see a monster on the cover, you're like, oh, this will be cool, and it's not there.
Either the manual sucked at explaining anything about the game, or B, when I rented it, there was no manual. but there's nothing about this game that is going to make it make sense on its own. I think it's like Simon's Quest, when it's like you're never going to understand what these people are saying because of localization issues, you know. And don't get me wrong, I like Simon's Quest, and I'm going to stop talking about that game now. But no, yeah, Jekyll and Hyde. I think this is a valid assessment for Jekyll and Hyde. Not good, but not the worst.
I just wanted to make sure it's not ending up in the worst. That's the reason I picked it now. So Adam is up next with our next selection. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you again to It's Beer O'Clock. Go right now and subscribe to their channel. I'm going to put the link in the description below. Make sure that you are catching up on all of their content, as well as the next episode of this that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, as we get through all of the first 50 games that I have completed on the channel, ranking them start to finish. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Steve, for joining me. I look forward to doing this again.